Welcome to today's Limitless Challenge. We're going to spend 60 minutes today and we're going to talk about memory and speed reading. The goal is to inspire everybody and not only give you the inspiration but the instruction on how to read 30 books in the next 12 months. This is all about doing just 20 pages a day, and that's the Limitless Challenge. And I'm here with who you can see online if you're watching this on Zoom or you're watching this on our private Facebook page. Or you're watching this in our app. Can't see this on Instagram, but I'm going to go on for a little bit there also as well. You see our Limitless librarian, Jenna. Hi, Jenna.
Hello.
Hello. And also our co-founder, Alexis, there in the spaceship that she's in right now.
Hi.
Her mission is she's very active also in the app. And Alexis is... she's really the brains behind all of this. And you see she's in the spaceship there. She always wants to create this Kwik brain school up in outer space. And so while we're talking about technology, we're talking about upgrading this technology today, the human brain, but when we're talking about space and discovering space, we're also going to talk about the inner space between your ears. And it's interesting because when you compare it to space, you have 87 billion neurons. Each one has about 10,000 potential synaptic connections. That creates more connections than there are stars in this universe. You like my shirt? Thank you. This is Get Lit. We always make reading fun. So readers are leaders. So who's participating here in the Limitless Challenge? We've reposted a number of reading into 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. Little by little becomes a lot. Again, if you've seen me online, it's always been the icebreaker for me about what books are you reading, and what is everybody reading? I'm gonna talk about this book today. I'm gonna show you how to memorize. This is a brand new book. I believe it comes out this week. I think it's out this week. Brand new book by Robert Cialdini. We just spoke at an event together in Arizona, and I'm gonna show you how to memorize in this session his laws of influence. I think there's two skills to master in the 21st century. Number one, meta learning, learning how to learn, learning how to focus, speed reading, remember things, be able to make better decisions, all the things that we talk about in these sessions these past few days. But also our ability to communicate is so very important. I met Robert Cialdini, who's the author of this book, back in 2005. We were speaking at an event in New Orleans. So I'm going to show you how to memorize this book because how many of you read something, you get to the end and just forgot what you just read? And you go back and you read it and you still don't know what you just read, right? And so there's a lot of yups here. Yes, all the time. Anna, Rochelle, Bridget, Daisy. And so you have to do something in your working memory. When you learn someone's name or something, somebody tells you something, I call it the 6-second syndrome. You have 6 seconds to do something with that information, otherwise it could be gone. And so I want to show you how to boost your memory today. Now, as a review, join our app. How many of you are part of our app? We have thousands of you in our app. Say yes. Okay. I wish everyone here could see that. A lot of hearts here. Thank you. The app, there's a link in my Instagram profile. The app is where the magic happens. You'll notice I haven't been as active on social media because we're putting most of our energy in the app. I answer a good 80 messages personally a day. Alexis, Jenna, Courtney, a lot of people who are actually behind the scenes are there to support you. And the reason why the app is so important, it's free to download. All the replays from the past few days are there. Day one, we did speed reading this week. That was on Monday. Tuesday, we did reading comprehension. So we did the visual pacer. Everyone improved about 25-50%. You had 8 friends join already. Really, that's amazing. Thank you. App is fabulous. Martha, thank you. A lot of work went in with Alexis and the team. Alexis, the app is available on both Apple and also Android?
Yep.
All right, great. And the reason why you want to be there is that's where all the communication is happening. That's where everyone's putting their notes. We put the replays there also as well, absolutely free. So the first day we did visual pacer for speed reading and focus. The second day we did comprehension, the 3 R's to better comprehension. Yesterday we talked about focus and concentration and the power of the questions that you're asking to activate your reticular activating system. Today is about remembering what you read, because who wants to read something and then just forget what you just read, that there's no point in that, right? So we're going to talk about that. Tomorrow is going to be a lot of mindset and motivation also as well. Tomorrow's the final day. Tomorrow also is the final day of the sale that we're running this week. We have as a special to celebrate this week at the 1-year anniversary of Limitless. We also, can't believe it was 12 months, everyone. Amazing. Thank you for the almost 10,000 reviews on Amazon. How many reviews do we have, Jenna, on Amazon right now? Thank you for the thousands of 5-star reviews on our podcast. And the name of the podcast, everyone, is Kwik Brain, Kwik Brain. Over 10,000 reviews on Amazon, Courtney. Thank you. And so thank you for everyone who took the time to do those ratings and those reviews. It means everything. It's called Kwik Brain Universe. And that's really the universe. And the reason why you want to join the app beyond this is because that's where we have groups. We have a book club group there. So I'm going to recommend a lot of books every session this week. We've been doing that. You also have a limitless group in there where it's kind of everyone sharing what they're doing when they're reading the book. We also have in there, what other groups do we have, Alexis? A brain food group where people are sharing recipes.
Brain food. Yep. It's a new one.
Yeah, talking about neuronutrition and how people are using and utilizing the different foods that are very protective of your brain. So everything is happening in the app. So we thank you. And thank you for inviting people to the app. When you do, you get these badges and all these prizes, and we're going to gamify it a lot. So now's the time to join. And again, the app Kwik Brain, Kwik Brain. So please join us there. Also, if somebody on Instagram could put this in, limitlessbook.com/challenge, limitlessbook.com/challenge. Looking forward to this KBCU, Kwik Brain Cinematic Universe. This might happen, guys. I don't know. I can't move my cameras right now, but I love superheroes. All right, so today's focus, again, day 1, speed reading. It's in the app. Day 2 was on comprehension. Day 3 was all on focus. Today, memory, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into this. And maybe, Jenna, you could do this with me. And I'm going to teach everybody a quick tip on how to remember what you read. You could do this for anything nonfiction or fiction. And it's a way to take mental notes inside your mind because there's a forgetting curve that within 2 days of learning something, upwards of 80% of it is gone. And we don't want that to happen. So thank you for loving the shirt. The shirts we have at jimkwik.com. We donate the proceeds to charity. Marina says, I know Kung Fu. Stranger, I know Kung Fu. Yes, you do. But we want to make reading fun. And most times reading is not fun because a lot of people don't feel like they're really good at it. And so that's why they don't do it. So show me. Let's talk about it. All right. I'm going to share with you the largest chapter in Limitless is the chapter on memory. And I wrote it in Greece because the book is not just about the latest neuroscience applied towards multiple intelligence and accessing your full potential. It's also based on ancient wisdom. What did people do thousands of years ago before there were printing presses, before we had technology like phones to capture information? And we want to make reading fun because leaders are readers. Again, if you've seen me connect with individuals like an Oprah or Elon or these individuals, you've heard me say this before, we bonded over reading. Reading has always helped me to be able to break the ice. I think it's great for people to have televisions and bigger televisions. I would love everyone to have bigger bookshelves and lots of books on their shelves. Yet a lot of people buy books, and as you heard me say for years, it becomes shelf help and not self-help because we're not reading it, because we're not good at it. So that's the purpose of reading, and so that's why we're doing it. I want to thank everyone who's gone through our reading program, our super brain programs, our memory recall programs, and we love books. And so I love books, and this is coming from somebody who never read a book back in grade school because reading was just not that fun. Bookaholics in the house. Jewel, very cool. Bookaholic, a learnaholic, if you will. And remember this, leaders are readers. So how do you remember what you read? I'm going to talk about this new book that just came out this week. It's the new updated version of Influence. And Dr. Cialdini is a professor, and he talks about the 7 laws of greater influence. I'm going to share with you how to remember those 7, just a simple technique. And the technique that I call it is PI. Improving your memory as easy as PI. So write this down. Take out a notebook. Bring a book also. People are asking, what am I reading right now? I'm this is what I read this last week, because we're publishing these three. These are the next three podcast episodes. Some of you, what podcast, Alexis? And if you're just joining us, Alexis is my co-founder. We've been working together for almost 15 years. The brains behind the operations here. What podcast did we release this week? Who was that with? Was that John?
This week, John Levy.
Okay, so this, I interviewed my friend John here, and he wrote a book called You're Invited. This is the art and science of cultivating influence. Oh, so this is interesting. This is the topic of this week, maybe unconsciously. And we talked about the neuroscience of creating that positive peer group. And he's known for running these special dinners that he invites people to. And he doesn't tell people. It's an interesting story. When I get this invitation from John, and I go to this house, that just random address that I wasn't familiar with up in the Hollywood Hills, and amazing view. And the rules of this is that we're going to dinner, and you can't talk to anybody about what you do, and you can't share your last name. And you actually have to make dinner with these other participants. So I show up there, and there's 12 individuals, and it's interesting. We have these stations, and we're making dinner together. That night we were making Mexican food, and so I'm chopping up tomatoes and making guac, which is avocados are great brain food, as people know. Where do you store it? You store it in your head, if you know what that technique is. And but you're talking and you're connecting, but not on actually what you do. And then at dinner, when you sit down with the meal that we just created together, we're going around trying to guess what each of the participants do for a living. And it was interesting because to my right was California Senator, to my left was the voice of Optimus Prime. And now I'm dating myself when it comes to Transformers, but that was really amazing because I recognize his voice, and it was pretty neat. But anyway, in his book, this week, if you listen to our podcast, it's me interviewing John about how he creates positive connections with individuals. And so coming up, and this is books I recommend, our next podcast on Monday, we release it weekly, tens of millions of downloads, is a book by Dr. Jill Bolte-Taylor, who Stroke of Insight. Many of you read her previous book, and also her TED Talk was one of the top 3 TED Talks of all time. It was amazing. Whole Brain Living. After that, we interviewed the author of Peak Sleep for athletes. So it's Peak Sleep Performance for Athletes, which is tremendous insight on how to get better sleep, which is good for your memory. And also this one. So this is the third one's coming. It's Eat to Beat Depression and Anxiety, how food could actually affect your mood, and how certain foods help to actually stimulate stress and anxiety, and certain foods actually help to mitigate that also as well. So those are podcast episodes coming up, plus obviously my episodes. I think we have an episode of mine coming out on, creativity, coming out, how to be more creative and other thing. The podcast is something that's near and dear to my heart. Every episode is only 15 or 20 minutes. It's one of the most binge listen shows on all of Spotify because it's only 15, 20 minutes. There's no sponsors at all, so we don't get outside advertisers. And so those are those 3 books to come. So excellent. So let's talk about how to improve your memory, everybody. And then if people have questions, then answer each of those questions, because that's what we're here to do. And if you're watching this in the app, this is where the magic happens, is in the app. And I want to encourage everyone again to join the app. Also, if you want to go deeper in what we're talking about, then please, I invite you to join our 21-day speed reading course. It is the most revolutionary. It's our flagship program. It's guaranteed to triple your reading speed with better focus, better comprehension, better retention, and better enjoyment. 100% money back guarantee. Today, it's 50% off. You get the link in my Instagram profile, and much of the proceeds go. Rita, welcome. How many people have gone through our 21-day program in the chat? I would love to know if you went through our reading program. I have me. Yeah, a lot of our students, and we have students in over 195 countries that have gone through it, and we're very proud of it. It's not just speed reading, it's about smart reading, not frenzy reading for comprehension and retention. So that's why I'm really excited about it. It's 50% off. Go to jimkwik.com/special, And if somebody could type that in, that'd be great. jimkwik.com/special. All right. The biggest chapter in Limitless is the chapter on memory. And maybe, Jenna, you could do this with me. Pi. Improving your memory is easy as pi. Now, P stands for place. I stands for imagine. E stands for entwine. All right. These are three keys to a better memory. Place is location. Imagine is imagination. And entwine, putting it together, is association. Those are three powerful principles to a better memory. And when you utilize all three of them, you could remember things easily and effortlessly. By the way, how many of you loved the interview I had with Greg McEwen? He's the author of Essentialism, and his new book, and I'm going to mention a number of books because you're all bookaholics, or soon to be, is called Effortless. And his follow-up book to Essentialism is called Effortless. And listen to that interview. I think we are able to pull information out of him about Essentialism is about doing the right things for the right reason. Effortless says that you could do the right things for the right reasons, but you could be going about it the wrong way. And I look at speed reading. Reading is one of those things. You're doing reading for the right reasons. Greater influence, greater impact, greater inspiration, greater income, right? The faster you can learn, the more you could earn. And you could be doing the reading, but you could be doing it the wrong way, because most people are reading the wrong way, as you've discovered over the past 3 days of talking about speed reading, memory, focus, and comprehension. So let's go through this now. So pi, place, imagine, and entwine. And the idea here is 2,500 years ago, going back to ancient wisdom, there was a Greek orator named Simonides, and Simonides was giving a reading, and when he was done, he left the building, and something really tragic happened. The building collapsed, and nobody survived. He was the sole survivor, and because he was the sole survivor, he had the responsibility of helping family members identify their loved ones. All right. Now, again, if you're just joining us, I'm going to show you how to remember this book, Influence. And some people call this the memory palace. He was able to identify because he remembered where the place where everyone was sitting. And can you do this also? Can you think about a dinner or something that an event, and you remembered where people were? And it's interesting because we've developed that skill and that ability over time as a hunter and gatherer. We didn't need to memorize numbers or lots of words. We needed to remember where things were. Where's the clean water? Where's the fertile soil? Where's the enemy tribe? Where's the food, right? That was our survival place. And even if you forget someone's name, what's the question you ask? When you forget someone's name, what do you ask yourself? What's the first question you ask? Put it in the chat, please. You ask, where do we meet? Where do I know this person from? Absolutely. And so the context gives you the content. And I always tell people that people say content is king. I believe context is the kingdom, right? Where do I know this person from? And so the place, that's the importance of a place. And so that's the P, we need a place. The I is imagine. We tend to also, besides location, tend to remember things that we visualize. How many of you are much better with faces than you are with names? But I am, of course, yes, me. By the way, we have 1,200 people watching this live on Zoom. We have a good 700 plus on Instagram. In our Facebook group, which most of you should be part of, we have 114,000 people in our private Facebook group. And then most people are watching this in the app. So hello to everyone in the Kwik Brain universe also as well who's watching this. Now, we tend to remember what we see. You see someone's face, you remember their face. You go to somebody and say, I remember your face, but I forgot your name. You never go to someone and say the opposite. You never say, I remember your name, but I forgot your face, right? That wouldn't make any sense. And we know that we tend to remember more of what we see because when you're thinking about your visual cortex, more of your nervous system is geared towards visualization. And there's a proverb that says, what I hear, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do, I understand. Please write this down. What I hear, I forget. I heard the name, I forgot the name. What I see, I remember. I saw your face, I remember your face. And what I do, going back to the power of practice, that's what you really understand. because practice makes what? Tell me. Practice makes progress. Practice makes progress. Very, very good. And I love how everybody got that, because we've talked about had these conversations before. And that's the retrieval. One of the reasons why I ask lots of questions is, I know the answer. I've been doing this for quite a bit, is to pull it out of you, right? Because learning today is not just, the human brain doesn't learn best through consumption. The human brain actually learns better through creation and co-creation and pulling information out. They call it active retrieval. Your memory has 3 parts: encoding, storing, and retrieving. Encoding, storing, and retrieving. And when you train yourself to retrieve information, even during the past 12 months, how many of you feel like the days are blending together? Like it's like, are you working from home? Are you living at work? It's like all blending. And part of the reasons why is we don't have things, we're not going out as much to the movies, to restaurants. We're not having these things kind of stand out as distinctive. And so that's why, and one of the things you could do to train your memory is this. Write this down. There is no such thing as a good or bad memory. There's no such thing as a good or bad memory. There's a trained memory and an untrained memory. All right. And again, this is so wonderful that so many of you know what I'm about to say, even before I say it, because you are the memory experts. If you've gone through our reading program or memory program, you could do these skills as likely as well as I do. Some people in our community could do this even better. They could memorize a shuffle deck of cards faster than I can. They could read faster than I can. They could, do whatever they're excited about. Remember names because you practice, right? Whatever you're practicing the most. It's just we weren't trained properly. And if you think it's your memory, we know that 1/3 of your memory is predetermined by genetics and biology, but 2/3 is in your control. 2/3 is in your control. So regardless of your age, your background, your education level, your financial situation, your gender, your history, your IQ, that doesn't matter as much as your lifestyle, all right? Some people say with epigenetics that, 100%, is in our power, all right? But at the very least, 2/3 is in our direct influence. And that's what we're going to talk about, influence. And I'm going to talk about how to memorize this book called Influence. And I don't have a tie with this book at all. It's, a lot of you have read this book, Influence. This is the brand new updated version. It comes out this week also as well. And so when I was sharing the stage with Dr. Robert Cialdini last week at an event in Scottsdale, Arizona, he went through his 7 principles of influence, and then I was asking people if they remembered them. And unfortunately, the human mind, if you're not taking notes, it's processed, can't easily remember. So going back to Simonides, everyone, and I would invite everyone to share this. We're going to go the next, and I'm going to do some Q&A for everybody here and answer rapid questions here also as well. We're actually giving away these brain boxes. Our team has put together a number of books, signed books, and also mine, and then books from our past podcast guests. There's mugs, and there's super brain foods in here, and brain t-shirts, and just a lot of interesting stuff to help build better, brighter brains. And that's really our purpose with our company, Kwik Brain, is for you to have your best brain so you can enjoy your brightest life. No brain left behind. That's our mission. How are we giving these away? We're giving 2 away a day, 10 this week. And just tag Limitless Challenge. Take a screenshot of this. Or you can take a picture of the book that you're reading, and you're going to commit to reading 20 pages a day. 20 pages a day will get you to 30 books a year. That's like a PhD or a master MBA in any kind of category, right? If you could absorb. If somebody has decades of experience, they put it into a book on negotiation, on sales, on wellness, on relationships, on parenting. And you can read that book in a couple days, few days. You can download decades into days. The biggest advantage. All right, so P-I-E. P is place, I is imagine, E is entwine. So let's do this. Jenna, maybe you could do this with me. Everybody stand up. Alexis is on the control panel, so you probably shouldn't stand up because she's steering the ship. But Jenna, why don't you stand up for me? And everybody who's joining us, if you can, stand up. We'll go through a quick exercise because it's not just visual and auditory, it's also using your body. And once you get in your body, you're going to know it better. So everyone, please stand up. And what I'm going to ask you to do is the P in pi stands for place. So we're going to get 10 places on our body. All right. So everyone do this with me. And Jenna, you can unmute. I want you to say out loud and touch the place on your body of what we're doing. All right. So number one is top of your head. So everyone touch the top of your head and say top. Number one is what? Say it out loud. Top. 2, nose. 3, mouth. 4, go to the side, ears. 5, throat. 6, shoulders. 7, collar. 8, fingers. 9, belly. And 10 is going to be your seat, where you sit. All right, so we're gonna go top. Number one, let's do it again. Everyone, this is active, like a little master class on a memory. One is what? Top. Nose. Mouth.
Ears.
Throat. Shoulders. Collar. Good.
Fingers. Belly.
Emily Fletcher, we were just talking about your book. I have it right here. I mentioned this book the past few days, Stress Less, Accomplish More. My meditation teacher, she's watching on Instagram, Emily Fletcher, must read. Also listen to my interview with her also as well. Search Jim Kwik, Emily Fletcher. But yes, yay. Okay, and so these are the 10 places on your body. Now that's the P in pi. Now the I is imagine. So we want to imagine what you want to remember as a picture, and the E, entwine. You're going to put these two things together. I'm a Ziva meditator. Love you, Emily. Lily, thank you. Yeah, great process, great book. Something I've been doing our meditation every day, twice a day. Okay, so now we're going to take influence, and obviously I recommend the book. It's over 500 pages. It's amazing on influence and connection and persuasion. Here are his 7 laws. And everyone could kind of just think, you don't have to write this down. The 7 principles of persuasion. Reciprocity is the first one. And I'm not going to go into an explanation, right? You should read the book. But the second one is commitment. The third, social proof. The fourth, liking. 5th, authority. 6th, scarcity. And the 7th, this is brand new principle in this book. He just added it for the updated version, unity. And this is the newest principle for this edition. Now, if you wanted to remember what these 7 are, some of you might remember it. What I would do, actually what I did when Robert was teaching this last week, when I spoke right after him, is the first thing I did was show people how to memorize those 7 so they can ingrain it. So how do you do it? The first place is what, everybody? The top of your head, right? And so the first one is reciprocity. And this is, I'm not going to explain the principle because that's not the purpose of this live. The purpose is we're talking about memorization. Yesterday we talked about comprehension, reciprocity. So the goal here is to imagine, what does reciprocity look like? Okay, turn into a picture. Now, if a picture doesn't come into your mind, the goal is think about something that sounds like that word. So when I say reciprocity, I don't know if something comes to mind here, but in the chat, everybody, what do you think of? What's the image you could picture for reciprocity? Martha says recipe. Everyone says recipe. Okay, here we go. Recipe, great. So then entwine is you connect those two things together. If the first principle to influence is reciprocity, you take the first place, the P, and you imagine the recipe and you entwine that. So maybe Daphne's saying, put a cookbook on your head. Great, right? Jewel says giving a recipe to somebody in return for theirs, reciprocity, and putting that on your head. Ashley saying a city made out of recipes, right? Recipe city. So imagine on the top of your head, you have a recipe city, right? Or maybe you're making a recipe on top. If you want to integrate it with the brain foods that we talk about, I mentioned earlier, avocados. Maybe you're making a recipe with avocados on the top of your head. Does everyone see that? And this the goal here is that people say like, wow, that is so childish. Who are the fastest learners, everyone? Children, right? They use their imagination. So we're going to go through this very, very quick. Second place on your body is what? Your nose, everyone. And I love this, your nose. And the second, and if you're just joining us, we're memorizing, this is about, today we're talking about remembering what you read. Second one is commitment. When I say commitment, what do you picture? What's one image? We think in pictures, right? Pictures, when you're on an airplane, it doesn't say no smoking or fasten your seatbelt. There's a picture. Derek says a wedding ring. Evan says ring. Oh, wow. Marriage, ring, wedding ring. Okay. So the second place is what? Your nose. And so let's say a wedding ring. Imagine you have Jenna, a wedding ring in your nose. A nose ring. Everyone's saying like, and see how it builds itself automatically? Everyone's saying a nose wedding ring here, and it reminds you. So when you need to present and give your TED talk and talk about this book you just read, right? You'll know the 7 principles, just go down the 7 places on your body. First, on top of your head, you're making a recipe city, reciprocity, right? The second, your nose, all of a sudden you have a nose ring with a wedding ring. You're combining the two. Does everybody have something? You get it? All right, so it takes a little bit more time to explain it, but to do it, you can see it in an instant, all right? Number 3 is what? Third place.
Mouth.
Your mouth. And the third one is social proof. The third principle of influence is social proof. So what can you picture, everyone? What do you picture when I say social? Social is talking. So let's say your mouth, talking, that could be it. Speaking, kissing, right? Chat groups, speaking, a group of friends, talking, socializing with people. Good. Social media, you can think of. So whatever you think of, like let's say it's social media, imagine you have the Instagram or Facebook logos all over your lips, and that reminds you of social, right? And it's social proof. Your true memory knows the difference because you're studying it, right? Your true memory knows the difference because you're studying this. You just need a reminder. And then, by the way, once you know testimonials works, I'm looking at a career coach, Candace, absolutely, it works. Whatever works, there's no right or wrong. Whatever you think of that comes to mind. The Twitter bird, yes, eating a Twitter bird, Rodrigo, perfect. I love this. We have like thousands of people here just sharing their best. Whatever, notice there's infinite, limitless examples. Pick one that works for you. For me, I'm just imagining putting the social media, icons, the verified IG right on Lily, right on your lips. All right, fantastic. Fourth place is your what? Your ears. The fourth, and I'm bringing this up for people that are just joining us, is liking. All right. What do you picture for liking? Love, lightning. Ooh, lightning that's a really good. Demar says licking. Okay. Licking ears. This is kind of building itself also. Listening, liking, ear licking. Okay. So whatever it is, whatever you picture that on your ears. Okay. Likes on your ears. Monica's saying I like to wear earrings. That could work. But try to imagine it, and then you entwine it. A dog licking your ears. Perfect. Or liking your ears. Wonderful. All right. Liking or licking. All right. Ears. All right. We're almost done. That. By the way, what was number 1? What's on top of your head?
Reciprocity.
Yeah. Reciprocity. 2, your nose. Good.
It's a wedding ring and I don't remember.
Yeah, wedding ring. You got it. Commitment. Good. And then your mouth reminds you of what? Social proof. And your ears, the licking or the liking. Perfect.
Liking.
And then finally, 5, 6, and 7. 5 is your throat, right? And this is authority. So what do you picture when I say the word authority? What reminds you of authority? A general, a judge, a parent, speaking up, using your voice. Wow, this is really rapid. It's a good thing I'm a speed reader. Authority, Thor's hammer, wow, that's good too. Thor, a loudspeaker. Connect that, whatever you just chose, Thor's hammer, an author, authority, author. Maybe doing a signature or writing a book, connecting it to throat. All right, does everyone see that? Or judge, government. I'm just reading what's here. Thor's hammer. police sirens. Okay, you have that here. And then finally 6 and 7. 6 are your shoulders, right? And then the 6th principle is scarcity. I say scarcity, and how do you connect it to shoulders? Scarcity. Scarecrow. Scars on your shoulder. Scary shoulders. Wow, this is great. So whatever you picture, Scar City, okay? Scars, or scary shoulders. Just imagine when you look at your shoulders, pick one. You have to pick one though. You can't just hear Jenna and I say it. You have to be able to see it. City of scars, a scar of city, scar face on your shoulders. Okay, that could work. And remember, once you know the 7 principles to influence in this book, the pictures disappear. It's just a way of converting it from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. And then you later on, you could test it, teach somebody else, see if you could remember it. 7th is what? 7th place in your body? Collar. And the 7th one, the final one, this is new in this book, unity. Unity. So what do you picture? What can you picture? Family, a necklace with pictures of people in your family, UN logo, unity, United States, circles, like connections. A dove represents I'm just reading here, a pearl necklace, love, shaking hands on collar, connected to what? Collar. All right, unity, collar. All right, now I want everybody to take a moment and take out your piece of paper, and can you write down the 7 principles to influence? Or even on the chat if you like to put on the chat. Just write, you could write it down or take a moment in your notebook, or who knows all 7 in order? Sandy, like done, me. Commitment, number 2. 3, social proof. 4, liking. Yoon, you have this. 5, authority. Very good. 6, scarcity. And 7, unity. And that's when you understand how your memory works, you could work your memory. All right. Thanks, Jenna. This definitely works. And so the goal here is, if you wanted to do anything else, you could go and make 10 places in your home. You could stand in your kitchen and just go clockwise and say, okay, the first place is going to be my microwave. The second place, my stovetop. Third place, my refrigerator. The fourth place, the dishwasher. The fifth place, could be the sink, right? And then all of a sudden you have 5, and then walk over to your next room and then do clockwise again. 5 more, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you have places, and these places, whether it's your body, your home, your office, the mall, it becomes that memory palace, right? It becomes a journey that you could walk on and see everything there, because we think in pictures, images, and associations, right? And that's really the key. Andrea, great job. This is 7, and these are 7 principles. And then, wow, and says, I must have 5 seconds. Amazing. Julian, amazing that everyone remembers it, right? And so, great job, everybody. So the idea here is, one of the techniques that we teach TED speakers is we teach them how to remember bullet points to their speech. And we could create a room of 15 different places, or 5 different, 3 rooms of 5, and then walk around and just add the image like a reminder. So it's especially useful, everyone, for when somebody asks a question mid talk, and you go to answer it, and you're like, come back, and you're like, oh, where was I, right? But here you know exactly, because you just like, oh, we covered this is my next point, right? And if I touch my ears, automatically people are thinking liking, which is an influence principle for greater persuasion. These are the 7 principles of influence according to Robert Cialdini's new book that came out this week called Influence, the updated version. And that's just one example I wanted to share with all of you as a way that when you want to remember something better, how can you store it in a specific place? Because these become file folders, like it's a filing cabinet, right? 10 different places on your body, or in your home, again, or in your office. And then how can you picture what you want to remember? Because we think in pictures. A picture is worth what? Picture's worth 1,000 words, right? And then E is entwine. How can you connect these things together? And if you read Limitless, we do that for a number of the different parts of the book. And that was really the purpose of it. We designed it around the hero's journey. Speaking of the hero's journey, part of it, the last part of the hero's journey, is the return to the ordinary, where you take that treasured elixir that you got along the journey and you share it with others, kind of like Neo in the Matrix, right? He called the Matrix at the end, and he says that I'm going to show everybody here a world that you don't want them to see, a world without what? Without rules, a world without limits, right? And show everyone what's possible. And that's what limitless is. Limitless is not about being perfect. Limitless is about advancing and progressing beyond what you currently believe is possible. And it's possible for all of us. And so, again, if you can't imagine it, just imagine you can imagine it, right? The more you do, the better you get, because memory is like a muscle. It's use it or lose it. In the book, we talk about digital dementia and how we're highly dependent on using our devices as external memory storage drives. And part of the challenge is, if we're depending on it to keep our to-dos, our calendars, I mean, how many phone numbers did you know growing up? And how many phone numbers do you know right now, right, compared to two? So your brain's not getting the exercise. It's the equivalent of, if I put my arm in a sling for a year, it wouldn't grow stronger. It wouldn't even stay the same, right? It would atrophy, it would get weaker. And a lot of people's memories, how many of you feel like senior moments are coming way too early? Anybody? Senior moments? Anyone feel absent-minded? Like you're taking a shower, you can't remember if you shampooed your hair yet, or you misplace things. Do you know someone who misplaces things all the time? Your wallet, your purse, your phone. You ask somebody to call your phone, hoping you kept it on, and that's if you remember the phone number. Or someone's name. You get someone's name, and seconds later, name just disappears out of your mind. You ask for it again, right? And so, the reason why we're covering memory today is we talked about on day 1, speed reading, day 2, comprehension, day 3, yesterday we talked about focus and concentration. But you need to exercise these things. Focus is a muscle, reading is a muscle, memory is a muscle, and you want to be brain fit, right? And that's really the goal. We live in an age, the millennium of the mind, and it's all about mental fitness. And so we really want to get you really strong in these areas. Just like a trainer will get you stronger and faster and give you more energy, more agile, more pliable. I want your brain to be all those things and so much more, because this controls everything. All right. So that being said, we have 15 minutes together. Of course, you'll be contacted by Kwik Learning, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We're awarding these prizes. Again, we're giving away books and, brain shirts and brain foods, all these fun stuff. If you want to join our speed reading course, again, it's 50% off today. You go to jimkwik.com/special. We donate a good part of the proceeds to charity. We donated 100% of the proceeds of Limitless to build schools for children in need. We've done it in Kenya, Guatemala, Ghana, also Alzheimer's research for women. So thank you everyone who purchased the book, because it not only did you improve your brain, are you getting your education, but other people's brains and are getting educated also as well. So let's go through some burning questions. And you got your book yesterday, Tina, thank you for joining. Again, how many of you are in our app? We have a lot of questions here. Okay. How many times can you reuse the same place to memorize different things? The question is a great question. I use my body list that I just gave you every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't use it, and I could reuse it also as well. And the more you train your memory, the more you find you'll be able to do it. You could also create other lists. You could create a mall list, a home list, your growing up home list, right? You could create all these different places. But I use my body list regularly, especially when I can't write something down. If I'm in the car, if I'm taking a shower. By the way, taking a shower is a great way to be more creative. The water actually puts you into that theta state, and that theta brainwave state is a state of creativity, where you're using your imagination to come up with ideas. And I took 5 showers for all of you today, so I could be especially creative and sharp for you. And how many of you notice that when you're taking a shower, you come up with all these ideas, but let's say you think, I think that you need to do, I have to go to the mailbox, I have to call Mary and everything else. You could just put a mailbox in your head. You could put Mary, whatever, like a wedding dress, on your nose. And it sounds so silly and childish again, but the reason why it works is because it activates more of your imagination, your emotion, and it's a means to an end. Once you know what you need to do, the pictures disappear, and that's really the goal. And the more you do it, the better your memory gets. So even when you're not using a technique, you tend to remember even more because it's getting you to focus on things, right? And if we're too dependent on our devices to do it, it's like being too dependent on an elevator or too dependent on your car to go 5 blocks or 5 floors when you could have got the exercise. And my goal is to encourage you to exercise more. No, I'm not saying pie is a good brain food. It is more of an acronym: place, imagine, entwine. But that is the goal. So everyone test that out. Even if you're meeting somebody, a person, you can look at a person and pick a place on their face or their ears or a clothing element. You can imagine their name, and then you can entwine that name to that place. And then when you say goodbye to that person 20 minutes later, you're like, oh, what was this person? Oh, they had the really big ears, right? And what was I doing to it? I was shooting a slingshot to the ears. And the slingshot for me is for David. I've heard David and Goliath, right? I use a slingshot. I always use apples for Bob. Whenever I meet someone named Bob, and if Bob has a very pronounced nose, I'll imagine putting apples up his nose in the privacy of my own mind, by the way. I'm not sharing this with Bob. When I'm meeting Bob, I see his nose, take a split second, and put apples in his nose, bobbing for apples, right? As an example. If someone's name is Carol, you can imagine that, Juliana, yes, meditation absolutely will improve your memory. Sometimes you have to disconnect to reconnect, for sure. And your brain is not geared to be going full throttle all day. And sometimes you have to slow down to be able to clear the noise, to be able to speed up in other ways. But meditation is something I practice twice a day. Again, Emily Fletcher's book, highly recommended. She has incredible programs also as well when it comes to meditation. And listen to our podcast episode. So these are the ideas, a simple technique. Again, on Monday, we talked about visual pacer for greater reading speed. On Tuesday, we talked about the 3 R's for comprehension. Yesterday, that was on Tuesday, we covered how to use questions to be able to get more comprehension. And today we talked about PIE, one strategy that just one out of the dozens we teach in our recall program, which is on sale today also, 50% off, jimkwik.com/special. That link is in my Instagram. If you want to take one small simple step after this, go to my Instagram and look at the links that are there and just click on it, and it gives you everything that we have. And most of the stuff, 80% of it is free, right? And so we want to make this out there. Our goal is to build better, brighter brains, right? So you could have your best future. No brain left behind. And so we create all these. My IG is at Jim Kwik, Kwik. Can you do a list, post a list of all the books you show? Yes, we'll post that in the app. If we could do that, if we could post a list of all the books. Again, some of my favorite books besides Emily's book. I'll just grab some. Here we go. The Magic of Thinking Big. You can take a screenshot of this if you like, guys. Mindset. And actually tag the author too if you like. By Dr. Carol Dweck. Think and Grow Rich. Man's Search for Meaning. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. 2 great books when it comes to brain health. And Dr. Mark Hyman wrote the foreword of our book, Ultramind Solution. Great book. Dr. Daniel Amen. Use Your Brain to Change Your Age. How's that? It's a great chapter in here on. I was fortunate when I had known we went through and he actually did a whole chapter on our work. You see, it actually says Jim right on it. The whole chapter on brain training to be able to just look younger, feel younger, and be at your best. 3 podcasts coming up. Eat to Beat Depression, Anxiety. This podcast coming up. Peak Sleep Performance for athletes. And also Whole Brain Living by Dr. Jill Bolte-Taylor. Which app? And then again, this one came out this week. My interview with You're Invited. Talking about how to create social networks and how your social networks actually affects your neurological networks, which is what are the best foods to eat for your brain? Gail, search Jim Kwik Brain Foods, please, on Facebook, on YouTube, in your podcast app. Look at everyone putting it there. Podcastquickbrain.com. If you go to kwikbrain.com, again, all of these links is in the primary link in my Instagram. Turmeric, dark chocolate, avocados, salmon, berries. And look how everyone's doing this. And are you doing it all from memory? Eggs, David, amazing. Everyone's doing it from memory because you remember. Because when you understand how your memory works, you can work your memory. Will there be a replay? Yes, we put all of it in the app. There's a link to our app in my link tree in Instagram. Just search Kwik Brain in your app store. And the app is absolutely free. We have thousands of people there. We have groups. We have a book club group. Everyone's reading, we're all reading the same book. We have a limitless group where people are talking and breaking down limitless. It's a wonderful place to find your learning buddy. Also, there's a brain foods group also as well. Somebody started a brain foods group, which is amazing. But all that's happened in the app, and we're going to have all these contests, everything in there also as well. And notice when you see people post books, a lot of the books that I repost are books we've gifted out every single week. So hashtag limitless challenge. Take a screenshot of this, tag me, tag at Kwik Learning, and when you teach it, you get to learn it twice. But we've sent out, a lot of the books are in every language, right? So there's at least 30 different countries that this book resides in, and so maybe you would see one that, and I don't have time to go through all of these, but basically we want to create this movement of the mind, everybody. And I would love to enlist your help in helping more people believe in their brain again. If they feel like that, to have the brain that they've always wanted. And because your brain controls everything. Limitless challenge. All right, yes, a quick reader, coconut. All right, questions. When do we announce winners? We've been announcing winners during the week, mostly on the @Kwik Learning. So we tag you. We're direct messaging everybody. There is a Korean version. Absolutely, the book has been translated into Korean also as well. 20 pages a day will get you to 30 books a year. 20 pages a day will get you to 30 books a year. Entwine. Yes, we did talk about entwine. Entwining is connecting the place and the image. That's what we're doing, connecting the place and the image. Jenna is our limitless librarian. I'm answering all these questions because I have Facebook open, the app open, Zoom open, Instagram open. Limitless librarian. She has co-hosted with me Limitless Together for the launch of the book and so much more. She writes a lot of amazing articles that post on Medium and also on Kwik Learning also as well. I have TikTok open. I'm not on. Are we on TikTok? I don't think I'm on. We're not on TikTok. We have an account at TikTok. Do you think we should? Is anybody on TikTok? Should we be on TikTok also as well? Let us know, and then if you think, yeah, okay, there we go. All right. Procrastination. Okay. Please, can you tell me different ways of overcoming procrastination? That's going to be tomorrow's topic. So tomorrow is our last day, and we save maybe the best for last. This has been 4 days. Day 1 on Monday, speed reading. Day 2 we covered was focus. Was comprehension. 3rd was focus. Yesterday was focus, and concentration. Today was on memory. Tomorrow's mindset and motivation. I'm going to show you how to overcome self-sabotage, the negative self-talk that we have. Also how to motivate yourself to be able to follow through, and that's going to be tomorrow, and that's where we're going to go deeper in. Please do this every couple of weeks. We'll do this, but mostly this will happen in the app. We'll be doing live broadcasts in the app, just because I'm not been spending much time on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We've been putting all our energy. I mentioned I answer 80 questions a day about on our Kwik Brain Universe app, and that's the best way to connect with me. How do you get your child motivated to read? We'll cover that tomorrow. All right. Anything having to do with motivation, for motivating yourself, motivating a family member, motivating somebody at work, motivating anybody to be able to move forward in their life. And so we're there to be able to be supportive of you. Social media is great. It allows a lot of this to happen. A lot of us connected through social media. It's just, there has to be a purpose for it. And Kwik Brain app is like social media applied towards brain performance and personal growth. And so that's really the purpose of it. Everybody is there. You can connect with other individuals who are on the same path. because I believe we're all on the same path, to realize and reveal our fullest potential. And the way to do it is we don't do it alone, because you're not alone. And today, ignorance in a world, we have unfettered access to the information through podcasts and YouTube. Ignorance is a choice today, right? We have great access. You can learn Spanish, salsa, speed reading, everything is available for people. And so our goal is to raise the level of intelligence and wisdom in the world so that, collectively we could handle a lot of the challenges that we have independently and collectively, micro and macro. I mean, who knows if somebody listens to our podcast and they're, wherever they happen to be in a small village somewhere and they have access to a phone and they cure cancer. I mean, who knows, right? Because they use a different part of their brain and they're able to access. And the whole idea here is people upgrade their phones and their apps more than they upgrade the most important technology, which is the human brain. So we'll be giving away more of this, more of these prizes, and we all could do better, certainly. And that's really the goal. And the goal is to do it together. I'll finish with this. I got to speak at the United Nations a couple of years ago, and it was on the 50th anniversary, the day. It was July 20th, actually July 20th, and I know this, 2019. And it was 50 years since they landed on the moon, and it was me and all these astronauts. And I was speaking, addressing the belief issues people have about reaching grand goals, because I'm the mindset guy, right? And also not only belief, but strategies and how to use exponential thinking to be able to back up those beliefs, because I believe all behavior is belief driven. Anyways, me and all these amazing astronauts, many of you know, and one of the individuals there I was talking about this thing called this overview effect. And the overview effect is it's a commonly shared experience that astronauts have, the sense of oneness when they're out in space looking back at the Earth, because you don't see borders and you don't see boundaries that are there. And this almost spiritual, emotional, mental phenomenon of they call it the overview effect, and how amazing everyone is connected. And I think that's important to know right now. There's this African proverb that says, if you want to go faster, you go alone, but if you want to go further, you go together. There's this acronym TEAM, TEAM. It stands for Together Everyone Achieves More. Together everyone achieves miracles. Together everyone achieves magic. And it's kind of cheesy, but there's also some truth in that also as well. So that's how we become limitless. You join the app, you connect with other individuals, we share our best ideas. Because if I give you $1, you give me $1, nothing changes. But if I give you a new idea and you share a new idea with us, all of a sudden we have 2 or more brand new ideas that we could use to make our lives better and to be able to serve at a higher level. I think you learn to earn so you can return, and so we're doing these sessions to just inspire you to read your 20 pages a day. For me, we've done a lot of episodes on our podcast on habits. We've had James Clear of Atomic Habits on, Dr. BJ Fogg on also as well, talking about how to change your habits and routines. I believe first you create your habits, then your habits create you. But for me, reading, and I was talking to Alexis about this, reading is like a gateway habit. When you show up for yourself, and you just open up the book and you read one line and you get in the habit of showing up for yourself, then you start saying, what else can I do? The habit of showing up for yourself, committing to doing 20 pages a day, Clubhouse. You could connect this Instagram Live to Clubhouse. I didn't even know you could do that. Let's do that too. Anyone on Clubhouse? Okay, follow me on Clubhouse and I'll go live on Clubhouse this next week. And so make sure you follow, but turn on notifications. I don't go on Clubhouse very often. I joined last September, I think. And if we're connected there, wonderful. But turn on notifications and I will do a Clubhouse. I'll do a really unique Clubhouse on Limitless next week. So make sure we're there. I believe they're on Android right now. I believe. All right, amazing. Well, great job, everybody, today. Thank you for showing up for this hour. Jenna, Alexis, Courtney, everybody on the Kwik Brain team. Thank you for all you do. Can we have a thank you for the amazing team? Our team is my co-founder Alexis. our team is mostly female. And so we just have some of the most amazing people on our team, men and women. So thank you, everybody. And thank you we're small in people, but we're really big on purpose. And thank you, everybody, for sharing. Please go to, again, jimkwik.com/special. The link is in my Instagram profile. Join us today, 50% off. You can join any of our programs. A lot of it goes back to charity, and it's our way of learn to earn to return. And I wish your day is beautiful. Lots of life, lots of love, lots of laughter, and always lots of learning. We'll see you tomorrow for our last session. Bye, everyone.